3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome into Fishing for All tonight. I hope everybody's doing okay this evening.
And I do too, Kaz. I do too.
How's my favorite stand in the world?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
There we go. There we go.
I wish the weather was doing a little better here because, let's face it, when the weather's a little more consistent, guess what's more consistent? You're fishing. When we've had this weather of nice spring weather and it's pretty consistent, man, boom, 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 you saw us. We're catching 60-pounders. We're catching big fish. But you throw some cold fronts coming in, and you got to kind of work a little bit to get these fish. So we're going to do it. We'll get out there and find them. But I wish for a little bit more consistent weather.
Absolutely. Well, it's been really pretty here. Getting ready to go camping tomorrow, and of course it's supposed to start raining. So that just is the way life goes. Hopefully it'll just be scattered showers and nothing bad.
That's why we get along so well. We have the same exact luck because it could be beautiful for 10 straight days. And if I plan to go do something, man, on that 11th day, guess what? Thunder, lightning, rain's coming down. And that's right. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want to call out chat? Let's see who all's in here.
Of course. You know I love doing that. I love saying hello to everybody. There's Avid out there. Avid, you know what? I think he's got the we're going to have to come up with some kind of special award as a catfish family or whatever. Avid is probably first in more chats than anybody else out there.
Absolutely. And he always supports me, and I appreciate that.
That's right. And LG Bass says, I'm the second first. We know how much I love second place, LG.
That's right. That's my favorite Tom in the world.
There's Matt from Want to Be Outdoors. David Smith. Appreciate all the support, David. Thank you. Look, ladies out there. James K from Baltimore Way. How's it going, James?
Hey, James.
CVA's out there. There's Kelly. Kaz, great job jumping up there with Kelly earlier today.
Thank you. It was fun. Kelly was killing them.
Well, was he was out there fishing today?
Yeah, he was creek fishing, and he was catching bass and bluegill, and he was pulling them in.
All right. Well, let me give Kelly a little, and people are going to be shocked here. People are going to be shocked. Let me give Kelly a little compliment. You know, he may not catch catfish, and he may not do big on the bigger waters, but you've seen him catch some fish on the creeks. So big shout out to Kelly, the Bullock experience. There's Lance, the cool guy out there. How's it going? There's Michelle. It's all mine. There's Aaron, Catfish Regulators. Or as I affectionately call him, Catfish Instigators, because there he goes saying, "Where's my stickers, Miss Kaz?"
I have it. Let's see. Where is Catfish Regulators? It's right there.
Woo!
Right there, sir.
Yeah, boom, boom, bam. There you go, Aaron. Let's see. There's my bro, Brian B. out there.
Hey, Ryan.
We got 18 awesome people watching so far. Paul Boyd, P&B Catfishing. How's it going, Paul? Great to see you again. Chucky Morgan. And if Chucky's here, well, I don't see her yet. Usually if Chucky's here, you got a net pretty close, somewhere in that mix out there.
The fabulous missing.
Justin's fishing fetish. Excuse me, Mr. Kitty Whiskers. Mr. Kitty Whiskers had he was live earlier. There's Murillo Family Fishing. How's it going, Michael? And I tell you what, y'all got to check out. If you haven't watched Murillo Family Fishing yet, you're missing a couple of things. You're missing the greatest the absolute greatest T-ball player of all time, Lauren. She is phenomenal. So y'all go check out my one of my favorite people, Lauren. She is just killing it in T-ball. But you also missed, I don't care. Anytime you catch something that's 8 foot long or almost 8 foot long, Murillo this past weekend was out there fishing. Him and Trish, I affectionately call her Trish Stan, but he caught an 8 foot limb. And you know what? If you can catch and land an 8 foot anything, that's a great catch. So a big shout out to Michael Murillo. There's Lizabella. And there's Sandy. And I think we're caught up.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. So glad everybody popped in, is hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for dropping that, James. Appreciate you. We always want to support the Murillos, and we definitely got a surprise coming up with the Murillos. So just a little teaser coming up. We'll let you guys know about that as soon as I get it confirmed. But we're going to have a great surprise with Mr. Murillo. So I'm really excited about that coming up. But so tonight we don't have a lesson going on, but we have decided to just chit chat about the get-togethers that are coming up, and also talk about our most memorable prize fishing experiences that we had. And so
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't mean to laugh over top of you, but if you could highlight Bass's comment there. This is true. His limb that he caught, that's how big that limb was. That limb. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. You know what? My family is going against me here.
Uh-oh.
They thought they hid the sturgeon picture, but guess what? I always keep one in my back pocket. They took the wood burning, but there we go. There's the sturgeon, and that limb beat that sturgeon by 4 inches. So definitely check out Murillo Family Fishing.
Absolutely. Love that. Name is Lauren. Yeah, she's something else. Brian B says, no, we don't want to hear Stan's memorable moment. No.
Well, I know. Everybody out there has heard it.
That's okay.
Even my granddaughter's like, no, Grandpa, no more.
Hey, I told you on this channel you can talk about that sturgeon anytime you want to.
Thank you. Exactly
right. Yeah, everybody else gives you a hard time, but this is a safe sturgeon space.
It's about the only one. I don't even get that on my own channel because Stan 3 will call me and say, stop talking about the sturgeon.
No. You can talk about it here.
And Kaz, something else we were going to do tonight. We've been doing a lot of talking. Maybe me more than you, but that's I got the reputation for that. That's okay. Something else we were going to do tonight is that we're going to talk about the what are they calling it down in Tennessee? That absolute phenomenal thing that they're going to this weekend.
The Gathering.
Gathering. There you go. I didn't want to misname it because it's such an absolute amazing thing that's going to be happening. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the Potomac River, the Chesapeake Bay watershed system, sister river to the James, the Potomac River meet and greet is coming up at the end of May. But then, we're going to kind of get into, that's right, we're going to give you all the chance to talk. We'll pop the link out there. And if anybody else wants to come up and talk about their first memories of how they got started fishing, we've been doing a lot of that talking. You've heard a lot of our stories, and we've been talking about, spin casters and spinning reels and starting with this and starting with that. But we want everybody else to have a chance to do that same thing. So, we're going to go over the meet and greets where you can kind of meet and greet all these kind of awesome people out there. But then we're going to give everybody else a chance to come up and tell everybody out there their stories about how they started and some of their first initial, or if it's not theirs, maybe their grandchildren or their sons or their daughters, their families, how they got started in fishing. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think so too. I think it's going to be great. I hope there's a couple people come up and tell their stories. Hey, Johnny Small Pepper, welcome in.
What's up, Johnny?
But yeah, so the gathering is this weekend. The main get together is going to be Saturday from 12 to 4. But I know that there's already a bunch of people up there camping. I know Chris and Telly are already there. They went live last night. And then today, Telly caught a nice big fish today, buddy.
Well, we all know Telly catches fish, but that Chris, he catches, maybe this size. He doesn't, he doesn't catch them this. He doesn't catch them this size. Maybe I'll give him one, but that's it. That's all.
And was it a one? Buddy. That was a monster, buddy. That was a monster. But yeah, the gathering it's going to be at Pavilion 4, Saturday from 12 to 4. And you're welcome today, Kelly. It was my pleasure. It's in Hickson, Tennessee at Chester Frost Campground. I'm going to be in campsite 110. I know that a lot of people are going to be in the 500s. We're kind of spread all the way around the campground. But we're all, we'll all meet up there, and the word will get out quick, and I'll have Scooter with me, so everybody will get to meet my little Scooty Whoop. And we're going to have a great time. There's going to be lots of giveaways, so if anybody's free and wants to come down, just look up Chester Frost Campground there in Hickson, Tennessee, and come on down from 12 to 4. There's going to be food, and there's going to be prizes. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. There's going to be lots of YouTubers there. And we are going to have a blast. I'm going to be there Friday night, Saturday night, and I'll spend the day Sunday and then come back Sunday evening. I'm going to hang out with everybody and fish for a little while Sunday before I come back home. But there's Quiet Man Curtis and Tanya Hollis came in. Hello, guys.
Hey, Tanya. Appreciate that, Curtis. Thank you. Saying hello, Kaz, and the mayor too, Stans. Thank you.
That's right. I love it. He's our mayor, everybody's mayor. That's right. And we gave him that name. We gave him that name.
Thank you.
That's right. That's exactly right. So tell us about the Potomac get together, Mr. Stan.
Well, that's coming up at the end of the month. I saw Brian B up there. I am horrible with dates. I know it's at the end of the month, and but anyways, there is going to be all your favorite Potomac River anglers out there. You're going to have Has Life and Brian B, and you're going to see Tony Harrison and Ernie the Hog Snatcher giving out some free roller coaster rides. And I think we're going to even get to see James K and Lizabella K, the Kirkpatricks out there. I think they're coming up there. You're going to get to see two stands. Both of us are planning on trying to get up there. So I hope. LG Bass is saying that May 28th. Thank you. And first of all, what an awesome show. LG Bass and Pontoon Jody last night. Having a lot of fun out there with Has. That's why y'all know why I rock with Has, because Has and Brian B, we have a lot of fun. They are keeping me young, that's for sure. Check that out. Still got the tag on the hat, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's
right. Don't take the tag off.
Hey, I'm just having fun with it. It's I have a blast with them. Honored. I really, truly feel honored to call them my bros. A lot of respect for both of them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're going to see some awesome people. And not only the people from YouTube that are actually up on screen, but you're going to see also the most important part is a lot of people that are out there in chat, or not even in chat, and they're just subscribers on the channel. You finally going to get to meet a lot of them. And that's the awesome part. That is what I truly got from CatCon, was people that I had never heard of before saying, hey, we don't do the chat on live thing, but My son and I watch you and your son up on the TV, and we have much respect for you, blah blah blah, and it was awesome, awesome, awesome at CatCon. All the people that I never even knew existed out there, but there they were. So it was just absolutely amazing.
It was amazing. That's one of my fondest memories that I have in life. I mean, it was that amazing. I had such a great time. I was so surprised at so many people being there. And I mean, people would just come up and, hey, cuz, and it was so amazing. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. So yes, I loved it. I'm so looking forward to this weekend.
Well, let's see. Depending on where you're watching, like a lot of them are out there in chat or over here or wherever your chat happens to be. A lot of them are out there right now. You got, Curtis was out there. I saw, there's Queen Catfish and Tanya Hollis was there.
Yes.
There were so many people that, they're not up here on lives and doing the things like this, but they're out there in chat. And that's who the important people are, because I wouldn't be able to sit up here and talk if I didn't have anybody out there listening to me. So I definitely appreciate everybody out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, Brian said Lisa Fish and Chick is coming, and Stan is supposed to come too. Susquehanna Stan. And Tanya said that she thinks Dominic and her may be staying at the wrong campground. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's okay. You just come on over. You guys can hang out at my campsite. I'm at 110, so you can come find me.
That's my kind of luck. A day late, $1 short, and a mile down the road. That's just
That's all right. There'll be plenty of places for you to hang out, so don't worry about that. Just come on and we'll make it work.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I love meeting Tanya. She said the sweetest things to me, and it touched my heart, and I just loved her before, but I just loved her even more afterwards. So that's my girl.
Yeah, and what's up with Dominic trying to trade her for some sinkers?
I know.
He's just not right. That's just not right.
I don't know what's wrong with that man. I don't know. I told him I'd take her in a minute. She can come with me anytime.
Hey, Bumblebee, how's it going? How's it going?
Curtis said, whoop, whoop. I got to meet both of you at CatCon, and you guys got to see how quiet I am.
That's right. That's right. Quiet Man Curtis kind of has one of those ironic names where, it's like that guy, like my size, 6 whatever and 400 pounds, and they call him Tiny. Yeah, that's Quiet Man's. That's kind of where his name came from.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But Curtis, I loved him. He was precious. I hung out with Curtis a lot, and we had the best time.
Curtis and his brother, Eric, they were both awesome.
Absolutely.
And Uncle Jeep. And, the problem is once you start naming names, there were so many people. And then you feel bad, like, oh, I didn't say so-and-so. I didn't say so. There was just so many people at CatCon. It was just like.
Well, that's why I put that CatCon picture in our intro, is because, I mean, it meant so much to me. And so
I totally agree.
Susquehanna Stan is wanting to know if you're going to the Potomac meet and greet.
Hey, if I gotta do this to go up 95, the 2 hours to get up there, I'm getting there one way or another. And it might be I heard that all right. Just a public service announcement. Mm-hmm. I heard that John, real-time catfishing, the professional angler, John Parker, is supposed to be there too. If he does show up, do not let him near your poles. Don't let him touch them, because that juju, I'm telling you what, it'll rub off. Woo!
That's some serious juju. That's some serious juju.
But I heard they're supposed to come up, so who knows? They might even pick me up out there on 95. Who knows? But one way or another, I am getting there.
Yep. I was supposed to go, and a lot happened. I ended up in the hospital, and all that stuff happened, and then my daughter, I thought what I was going to do is I was going to go up this week. And my plan was, I didn't say anything to anybody, but my plan was, because my daughter went today to March on Washington for the nurses. And so my plan was to go with her and then sneak away at night and try to meet up with Haz and Brian and go fishing, even though I wasn't going to get to go to the meet and greet. And so that was my secondary plan. But being that I've been out of work and being that she had to have somebody to keep her dogs and her husband decided to go. And so that kind of put me out, and that's perfectly okay. But that kind of took me out of going to the Potomac. So I tried every way in the world to get there at the meet and greet, and then tried to get there, a little bit beforehand so I could still hang out with the fellas, but it just did not work out. So hopefully I can get it to work out before the end of the year and I can go up and fish with them.
Well, one thing I can tell you, as Brian B says, one thing for certain, two things for sure. You will have a absolute blast. I'm pretty sure, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to catch some fish.
Oh,
but even if you don't, you're going to have an awesome, awesome, awesome time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I consider myself blessed to call them both my brothers, and they're just awesome people up there.
Absolutely. And that's the way it was at the dock when I went. It was amazing.
Oh.
And I told Tom, Tom was like, I really want you to catch some fish. I said, Tom, if I don't catch one fish, I'm perfectly fine, because that's fishing, number one.
Well,
number two, I came down here to hang out with you and Michelle. That's all I wanted to do.
Let me tell you, when you have somebody come to your waters, like, you feel it is how should I say it? I don't want to say it's like it's a welcome burden. Like, I feel that, like, man, I just want you to I'm not bringing any poles. Everything, if that pole bumps an inch, it's your fish. That is, you just want anybody that's coming, that you feel blessed enough that anybody's going to travel to come see you. Man, all you want is for them to catch, the biggest fish they ever caught. And we've had some luck with that this year. Freddie and Nina came up here to fish with us for their anniversary, and bam, both of them caught their PBs. I mean, Nina caught that 46, and I don't know who was more excited, myself, Stan 3, Freddie, or Nina. It was absolutely amazing. And then as we're catching that and landing that, Freddie had his poles down the riverbank a little bit and out on this little peninsula. And that's how much we love Freddie and Nina. We named it. We named that Freddie Point. Even though we've been fishing that for years, we passed that name over to Freddie Point, and he ended up catching his PB at the same time. So we have a picture of both of them having their PBs at that time. I mean, that was just, that's just, there's nothing better than that. I would give up the 222-pound sturgeon for that moment. Luckily, I didn't have to give that up, but that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it was the same way when I went to the dock. Tom and Aaron, Catfish Regulators, I mean, they gave me their poles. They did everything. They were just like, no, we want you to fish. We want you to catch everything. They let me catch every fish the whole time I was there. Even Josh, when he came down and fished with us, he's like, here's a pole. If something gets on it, you get it. And I mean, we had a blast. And I caught a lot of fish. I mean, we had so much fun.
Well, let me tell you, the dock, big shout out to Tom and Aaron. And, of course, my favorite person from the dock. I probably spent more time talking to her than I did to Tom and Aaron about fishing. It was Michelle. It's all mine. Man, I think I've told the story before, but the funny thing is, the first time I went down to the dock, I walk in the door. And I'm old school. Like, you introduce yourself, and I'm like, "Oh, Michelle, how are you? My name's." She's like, "I know who you are. I've been watching you for months."
Yeah, so
from the second you hit the door, I already knew I was family with Tom, but once you hit the door and you meet Michelle, and she just it's like that family reunion that you don't want to go to, but this is the one that you want to go to.
Yes, and you don't want to leave.
No, it's I can't say enough about the dock, and And, they proved that point that, a lot of people think catfish are these lazy, they hang on the bottom kind of. If that was the case, they'd be catching the same fish week after week after week. And they don't. They're catching different fish every single week, fishing from the same spot. So guess what that means? Catfish are not. They are migratory. They move. They're following bait. They're doing different things. As the conditions change, they're moving. So that just proves that theory, or that catfish aren't these lazy bottom feeding scavenger type. They are a predator fish, and in my opinion, a game fish. I think one of the most aggressive, one of the best game fish across the country. And as states start recognizing that, you'll see a lot of things changing with catfish. I guarantee it.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. There's Steve Mosley. Welcome in.
Boom, boom, boom.
Welcome in. But yeah, no, I agree totally. People need to, instead of, so many people for so long thought catfish was trash fish and this and that and the other, but they're definitely the best fish in the water, according to me anyways.
Well, I agree. But I'm lucky to fish the James River, so we have some big boys around here, and we've caught some nice ones, but we're still waiting for that epic size, that what does he call them, the manatees, using the donkey baits, and that triple digit manatee. We're gonna get it one of these times. You put your time in. It's, I say a bunch of times, it's all about, you hear there's so many channels, there's so many of us talking about catfish, and the rigs you use, the rods you use, Uncle Lou. Well, they're all over here, but Uncle Lou, and but it's, take what you learn, put it on your own waters, because everything's going to be a little different. Hippopotamus, there you go, Tom. Thank you. And you know what? If your hippopotamus is 10 pounds in the waters that you're fishing at, woo!
That's right.
Happy, because
that's exactly right.
It's not the size. It's not the size of the hippopotamus. It's the size of the excitement that hippopotamus brings you. So if it's 10 pounds and that is a hippopotamus to you, be happy about that. Be thrilled, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, when I was at the dock, the last day that me and Tom were down there, we weren't getting any bites, and all of a sudden the rod bent, and I run down there and I get it. I could barely get it up out of the dock, and it's just a straight thing down.
Yeah.
I could not hardly reel this fish in. This fish was so big.
Well,
I could not. I could not. I literally had to stop and take a breath. Okay, Bumblebee. I'll check them.
Well, and first of all, Bumblebee Junction, thank you. And I appreciate you sharing cockeyed catfish with us. For those that don't know, that is, the cockeyed catfish is the male person behind Bumblebee Junction. He has started his catfishing channel, Cockeyed Catfish. Thank you. He has just been an absolute blast hanging out on our lives, and we had a awesome time the other night. So yes, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But we tried to get that fish in, and I was reeling that fish, and I couldn't hardly reel it. And I told Tom, I said, Tom, this is a big one. This is a big one. And he was like, okay, well, it swam under something, and it got hung up. And I said, Tom, something's not right. I said, it's not moving now. And it got stuck, and we couldn't get it in. It never did come back out. We gave it a while, and it never swam back out. So I never did get that fish in, but I'm telling you, it was a monster.
Well,
it was a monster.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, because they've shown that you can catch some monsters on the dock. I think the dock record is now from 1 ton with the 92 pounds, but they've caught 60 pounds. Aaron's caught 62. I think it was 60 some pounders. Tom with the 50 something pounders, and they've caught multiple big fish. And what's impressive about that is they're catching it from the same spot. That's what makes that impressive. They can't go to all the different spots. I mean, they could, but it wouldn't be the dock. So
That's right. That's right.
and it is, and I don't know if they've made any improvements. When I went there, it was not the travel destination of the East Coast that it is now. I was actually looking up at the 10 best places to visit in Virginia the other day. The dock is now number 9, so it's moving up the list.
Moving on up. Moving on up. It's amazing. It's just a little dock, and you wouldn't think, going down there, it's absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And you just you talk about the dock and hear everybody, and I just kind of thought it would be a little bigger, and it's not. It's just a small dock, but I tell you what, you can catch some fish off that sucker. And I do have to say, I've got the dock PB for guests. I got the biggest fish for any guest that's been down there so far, and I got to cook with Miss Michelle. So I was the first one to get to cook with Miss Michelle.
I know. I don't know which I'm more jealous about, the biggest fish or the cooking with Michelle, because for those that don't know, I was in the restaurant business 20 years, so I don't know which one I'm more jealous of there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, Jay Fox Hunter. Hi, Miss Maria.
Cause I'll be right back.
Okay. And I love you guys right back. I hope you got my email and got my picture. I did catch a fish down at the dock with your rod, with your reel. And I sent a picture in the email. I hope you guys got it and seen it. But if not, look for it. But I sent you, and you can see the rod in the background in the reels on that rod. So it worked fantastic. Pulled in a nice fish. So thank you again. It was fantastic. I put it on I've got 2 Paula Smith rods, and I put it on one of my Paula Smith rods. So those are my 2 favorite rods. So had to put my favorite reel on there with it. So, but welcome in everybody. We've been talking but yeah, that Miss Michelle, I'm telling you what, she can cook. Holy mess. She made a steak, and I dream about that steak. And the breakfast sandwich. Let's don't forget about that. But that steak was to die for. I couldn't quit eating it. It was as big as my head, and I ate the whole thing. It was so good. It was so good. But we're going to talk a little bit about our first little fishing experience. And my main one was when I caught a striper. Back then we called them rockfish, but it was a big old striper, and I was 6 years old, and I was with my father, and he knew I had hooked into a monster. He was having to hold my waist because it about pulled me out of the boat 3 times. And it was so big that when I finally got it up to the boat and got it in, it hit the ground, and it came up, and the fish's mouth came up above my chin. So that was a huge fish to me. And it wouldn't be a huge fish to me now, but it was a huge fish back then. I was in the newspaper and everything. It was a big deal. So I really loved that, and it was great fun. Hey, Chunky Cats Fishing, and hey, Jeremy Tournaments Cats. Welcome in, guys. So happy you joined us. Happy to have you. There's 2 stands. So
I am back.
Yeah, so there's Miss Annette Morgan. So what was your best memory catching a fish? I'll tell them about my striper I caught.
Well, first of all, Elston, thank you. Appreciate you coming in. We all love Elston and his whole family. They've brought us many hours of joy. So thank you, Elston, for what you do. Live stream catfishing. We all owe that, the way that we do it now, to Elston. So
cats fishing, absolutely.
Much respect to him. But anyway, I have fished since before I remember fishing, over 5 decades of fishing, and the biggest thing is you got to just be willing to learn from anybody. I love it. You'll hear me say a bunch of times when I'm fishing with Dan and Stan 3, I taught him fishing, and I still love it when I learn when I'm wrong about something. And I'll be like, man, I'm glad I was wrong because that means I learned something new. So
That's exactly right.
always be fun to learn something. But man, I remember, you see a lot of these big catfishing guys and they're tough. Well, I remember ice fishing when I was a little kid, and the safest ice is out towards middle of water, so it gets as the shallower water that heats up quickest, so it gets the ice gets thinner and thinner at the edge, and well, anyways, the thinner the ice, when you've got open water, that's the warmest water temperature, so that's where a lot of your fish are going to be. So I remember as a kid having a rope tied around me with a life jacket on, sliding out to the edge of the thinnest ice, and I'm out there fishing, and I'm like the only one catching fish. And
yeah,
but,
they just tied a rope around you.
Yeah, I mean, but that was back in the days when you could have 12 kids in the back of a pickup truck, and it was a little bit different times back then, but
a lot of different times. I remember riding in the back of a pickup truck plenty of times.
But there's that, and then for all of us that are a little bit older, we remember hand lining and cane poles, where even if it was just not even a cane pole, but just like a willow branch or whatever, where you could put some line on it and a hook, and I remember trying to make different things like hooks out of like safety pins and paper clips that you sharpen to see if you could catch sunnies, and trying to come up with putting stuff together, putting rocks and stuff in the water to make fish traps to try to catch fish. And my friend and I, when we were younger, we were like I said, back in the day, it was a little, you had more freedom. You could go to different places and ride your bikes and do all this stuff. And I remember my friend and I used to snorkel down the Delaware River and the Neversink River, and we'd have a little bitty, like the little ice fishing poles that we talk about, the little challenge, and we'd have a little thing of like crawfish and live baits and stuff attached to us, and we'd be there just floating down the river, snorkeling down the river, just to see how fish reacted as you're coming by it, and as the bait's going by it, and what they do, and how they set up in the current. And where I grew up at, we didn't have a lot of the big catfish, but we had smallmouth bass and largemouth bass and pike and northerns and muskies and all that kind of stuff, and trout, big trout, and so that was pretty cool doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I learned how to hand line and all that stuff before. You didn't have a reel until you learned how to do that stuff, and you had to learn how to clean fish, and that's one of the biggest things I think. I think you're going to start seeing. That's why, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why you see the records keep growing and growing and growing. Because back in the day, let's face it, a lot of our families, you went fishing. You didn't go fishing for fun. You didn't do anything for fun. That was survival. Like, that's why a lot of families had 10 kids, so they could help with everything and blah, blah, blah. But, you went fishing for food, and if you caught it, you kept it, you cleaned it, whatever. And, we're blessed to be that we don't have to do that anymore. And, and if you do, and if that's, one of your major food sources, God bless you. You caught fish, if it's in regulation and it's in season, do what you need to do with it. But,
there's nothing wrong with selective harvest.
No,
there's a reason why there's limits, and it's okay to keep fish if you need them. And the only thing that I disagree with is wasting them. Let's don't waste them. Let's don't catch them and leave them on the side of the bank to rot and do all of that. But if you catch a fish and you want to keep it, I kept 3 catfish before, because my daughter, since I've been catfishing, I've only kept 3, and I kept them because my daughter's been begging me to have a fish fry. She wanted a catfish. And so, you'll do anything for your kids. And so I kept 3 eaters, and and it was the first time I'd ever filleted out a catfish. That was very interesting. But I did it, and I got some, out of my third one, I was getting some really nice fillets. I got, the whole fillet off, and the first one didn't go so well, but you got to learn.
That's right.
And cutting up a catfish is very different from cutting up a fish that lays on its side. So I can fillet bluegill and crappie and bass and all of that, but cutting up a catfish, that's a whole different beast.
Oh, without a doubt, they're shaped a little different. Every fish is a little different. They all are still fish, and and across the country, they all still are catfish. They're going to act a little differently in everybody's body of water. But if you take the basic things that you learn on any of the shows, you might have to change it up a little bit. Like you see Magician right now, Mark, the Fish Magician 2.0. You see him fishing for channel cats out in. Well, channel cats are a little different than blues and flatheads. They are more of a scavenger type fish, and however, they take up all the roles when that is the predominant catfish in that area. They're going to act like They're going to act like channels. They're going to act like blues. And they're going to act like flatheads. They are going to be that. You can fish for channel cats in those areas the same way you fish for all three of those species. Now, if you have all three channels, blues, and channel, you have channels, blues, and flatheads in your waters. Channels will act. Blues will like the current. Flatheads like the cover. And the channel cats will take up the extra. So that's the big difference there. But
absolutely.
Because if you want to drop the link out there while we still got some time.
Okay. Let me do that for us.
And if anybody else wants to come up and tell us about their first, how they got started in fishing, or some fishing stories from back when they were younger.
Yep, we would love it. But I dropped the link there.
LG Bass and my good friend Gray's Family Fishing say that bass lives matter. They're not just bait.
That's right. They're not just ditch pickles. That's right. I didn't. It was funny because whenever I came in, Jay Fox says, "Cause and Stan, I still live like we did in the '70s." Yep. And you know what? That's okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
God bless you, my friend. That was it was a much simpler time. I can guarantee it.
The '70s was good. I was born in '70, so I was around for the '70s, and absolutely, I'm a '70s baby. But we'll see if anybody wants to jump up and talk to us. But yeah, I mean, it was a simpler and time. I mean, we got to do things that we don't get to do now. And is it smarter that we don't do it? Probably. But it sure was fun.
Considering that back in my hometown, the orthopedic doctor, I had an entire drawer of his file cabinet. It's probably smarter that we don't do a lot of the things we used to do. But that being said,
yeah.
I kind of, my childhood was a lot kind of like the Little Rascals, where you wanted a go-kart, you went and built one, and then you found the biggest hill that, you didn't find these little ones. No, that wasn't good enough to test it. You had to find the absolute biggest hill that was in town. That's where you tested that go-kart. And
absolutely. Every time. I remember my uncle and aunt lived on a farm, and we would go down and over in the cow pasture, they had built a hill to jump four-wheelers and the go-karts over. And I would go down there, and they built this big old hill, and we would go, and I mean, we would hit that thing at full speed. And you could just hear me. I would just laugh every time we'd go up in the air. My mother said it scared her to death.
Well, we lived up in the Catskills, up the Catskill Mountains when I was younger, and across the street where we used to live, there was a you'd go up, and it was probably about I don't know, maybe 2-3 miles. We would build a track, like a snow riding track, a toboggan, and whatever, and we'd build up the corners just like I mean, by the time we got done with that track, it was like an Olympic. It was like an Olympic. What do you call it? Oh my gosh, why isn't that coming to me? But anyways, where they ride, down the ice trails in the Olympics and stuff, and man, it was, yeah, yes, and it was just, man, we had a blast with that, and we do that's what we do all winter long, and by the time we got done, it's a 2 and 3 mile track. So you go down once, and then it was like a 3-hour trek back up to the top of the trail, and then boom, you're back down it again, and you might only go down it 2-3 times the entire day because it took that long to get way back up, walk back up to the top. But
yeah, either the luge or the bobsled.
The bobsled, thank you, yes.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the bobsled, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's.
Well, I remember, but even here, I mean, even here in Knoxville, Tennessee, I mean, the thought of us getting snow now, I mean, more than an inch is unheard of. But back in the 70s, I mean, we had a blizzard in 94, and we had, let's see, it was almost 2 feet of snow. And I remember going out the back door of my parents' house, and there was 3 steps going down, and you couldn't get the door open. And, my daughter was a year old, and we went out and we built the biggest snowman that was ever. And after that blizzard, it didn't snow. But that was in 94, but back in the 70s, I mean, we would get 3 or 4 good snows, 8, 10 inches at least, 3 or 4 times a winter. And that just doesn't happen anymore. We just don't get that. Yeah. And I hated that for my kids. I hated that, that my
used
kids
to get winters. Yeah.
That. So, hey, New Jersey Fishing Maniac, welcome in.
Yeah, Tennessee used to get some snow. One of the restaurants, I said I managed restaurants for 20 plus years, blah blah blah, and Cracker Barrel was one of the ones I managed, and their home office was in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Tennessee used to get some weather. They used to get winters, and so whether you believe in, I can't say. I don't know if I believe in the global warming and all that other stuff, or if it's just where it's this everything happens in cycles. And who knows? But
but something's different.
Something's definitely different, and but anyways. If anybody out there wants to come up, like I said, that was tonight. We were trying to give you all a chance to talk about your first fishing experiences. And as usual, I ran my mouth a lot longer than I thought I was going to.
Stan, I think it's me and you both. You talk about you, and I talk just as much as you do. And between me and you, it is what it is, Stan. Don't take all the blame because it's not you. It's me too.
Well, I think my wife, after 30 some years of marriage, will disagree with you. She will say that I talk more than anybody she's ever met.
Yeah, Ava just posted that Jody is 95 away from her 1,000. So if anybody hasn't subbed to Pontoon Jody, please go over and click that link and go over and sub to her. She puts out a lot of good videos. She works hard. She does it the right way, and she's got a lot of content out. And so if you guys, if you guys want to see some good fishing, some good competitions, some good fun, then go over and subscribe to her channel.
And Kaz, I know you all have had some scheduling issues lately and stuff, but you and her together, it was just awesome watching you all load the boat and doing the different things. that y'all did together. That was just I truly loved it. Loved watching that every week because I am the host on that show, the co-host on that show also. So
We had
I
a lot
loved
of fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I loved watching both y'all together. And but yes, so definitely check that out. If somebody could do me a favor also and drop a good friend of mine, Teodor Arco. I know that Avid probably got his link. I know some other people. Teodor Arco, he's been doing this for a while, and he's out in the Southwest, does a lot of flathead and channel cat fishing and stuff, and he's got a lot of those, the old school type things that I talk about a lot of times. He's got a lot of those videos out there, and he is just the same thing as Jody, like right on that final stretch to hit the 1K. So it would be absolutely amazing within the next couple of weeks or so if we could get both Pontoon Jody and Teodor Arco to the 1K. Nothing would make me happier.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. We want to help our fellow YouTubers, and we want to get everybody there. And, we can only get there one at a time. And so we need to push each other until we can get there and then go from there. So
Brad,
we need to support.
Brad said, and by the way, Brad, I don't know if you've watched our latest 2 stands fishing live, but stand 3 has been rocking the Tidal Weights jersey hoodie out there.
Absolutely.
Brad Cottle, if somebody also could drop Brad Cottle's, if you need some weights, look no further than Tidal Weights, Brad Cottle on Facebook. Man, I think for what we pay around here for weights, I think he's got them beat by probably half. It costs about half as much as what we pay here. I don't know how it is. I don't really buy a lot of things from the other parts of the country, but around here it's probably half of what they charge for at the bait shops and stuff. Now, I'm not saying don't support your local bait shops because they are important. You need to have them around. You never know when you need to go buy some live eel or shiners or things like that. But when we're cat fishermen, and more so than many of the other species that you fish for, sinkers and lead is one of our most important things. So definitely check out Avid. Thank you very much. There's Teodor Arca's link.
Yeah, and besides the fact that he's got an excellent product, and he does. He has excellent prices, and he has an excellent product, but he's an excellent person. He's fantastic to deal with, and he's a great fisherman. So support Brad Cadell, please.
And that's right. And I don't say, there's not too many things I can say. I can say it about Uncle Lou, and I can say it about Brad, that they are the only ones that we try to only use on 2 stands fishing. We try to only use Tidal Weights and Uncle Lou, and that's
it's all I use.
That's because of the support that they show the catfish community. So big shout out to both of them. Awesome people. Awesome products.
I see LG Bass hit 400 last night.
Yes.
He's earned that. He deserves that. I'm telling you, Doc Tales is a great show.
Yes, I was so happy that they finally did that. Like I said, when I first went there, and I think the internet service has got a little better there. But when I first went there, it was like 3 bars. It was 3 bars of service. We were talking about how to mark it out on the dock and do different. But it was 3 bar. You had to go on the dock. There was 3 boards of service. Like you had to get. It's still that like that.
Yeah.
Boy, you hit that sweet spot. It was okay.
Yeah, I only went live that one night because of the service. I was having a hard time with my phone, and so it was 3 boards of service. That's exactly right. 3 bars, 3 boards.
LG Bass says, "Yep, still just 3 boards of service."
Yep.
That's just a reminder that some things never change.
Hey, it's supposed to be that way, so that's all right. It's fantastic there. Wouldn't change a thing.
No, not at all.
Well, guys, we are at 8 o'clock, and we've got a couple of things going on. We've got Bexy and Steven out fishing. So if you want to watch some live fishing, go over and check them out. We've also got the bait shop getting ready to start if they've not already started. So if you haven't seen that, go over and check Mr. Fields to Water out and support the bait shop.
And Chad's in Mendota this week, so that's Mendota's up northwest, out in Wisconsin. They're catching some monster channel cats out there. So
nice. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about that one, but there's also the get together up in Mendota. So there's a lot going on this week. Just so you guys know, I'll be going live tomorrow night about 8:30. I've got it scheduled for 8:30, but don't hold me to that exactly. I may be a little late coming on. I may be a little early. I'm not sure. Just depends on what's going on at the campsite. And then I'll definitely be live during the 12 to 4. During the part where we're all getting together and everybody's hanging out. And then I'll also be trying to do another live while I'm there as well the next day. So I'm going to definitely try to go live. I believe we've got good signal up there. So I'm going to try to go live at least 2 or 3 times up there. And then that way, especially Saturday from 12 to 4, so everybody can come along and be a part of it if you can't go. And the bait shop's doing the draw for the ladies tournament.
And I want everybody out there to know that is one tournament that I did not want to get into. I will be outfished by the ladies every single time. Big shout out to all the lady anglers out there. And you know what? That's what I love about fishing. It doesn't matter if you're 6 foot tall, 4 foot tall, 100 pounds, 400 pounds, you have the same opportunity to catch the same fish as everybody else is fishing.
That's what I love about it.
That is what I love about fishing. It is just, it doesn't matter who you are, what race, what sex, whatever. Everybody's got the same chance to get out there and catch some fish. So.
Absolutely. And yeah, one last plug. We all know I love Uncle Lou. I'm sure most people in the community does love Uncle Lou. If you don't, something's wrong, because that man is amazing. But he does have an amazing product, and he is a fantastic guy himself. And he is great to deal with. So also, let's support Uncle Lou. If somebody can drop his link before we drop off here tonight, I would appreciate that. He has blessed me personally, just as sure as I know that he's blessed many other people. And I will always support him 100%. And always have that man love, because he's been nothing but amazing to me.
Well, to everybody in the catfish community, that's absolutely blessing to have Uncle Lou part of our family. And it's just, I could never thank him enough for what he's done for us. Specifically, I can't ever thank him enough for what he's done for us. So.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. And Miss Michelle, glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, next week, hopefully we'll have a big Murillo surprise. So I'll be announcing that through the week. And whenever like I said, as soon as I can get some confirmation, and either jump over and support the bait shop or jump over and support Bexy and Steven. And we will see you guys next week. Same channel, same time, 7 p.m. All right, guys. Me and Stan both love yous. Have a good night.